Okay, so hey guys, did you like my Ben Shapiro video? My Ben Shapiro video that should have come out like a week ago? I hope you did, because I'm writing this right after finishing that script, because I immediately managed to find something that was too good not to talk about. So this is from the channel Matt Walsh. I have no idea who he is, but he has almost 800,000 subscribers, so he must be a big deal to someone out there. He's also part of Daily Wire, which is what Ben Shapiro is a part of, so I guess these dudes are just farting up the same air and breathing it together because they're both putting out the same kind of content.
Can you believe all these imbeciles in Texas? They just put another prisoner to death.
Let me just scroll through his most recent videos to get a feel for what he's all about, and... oh, another right-wing male painting the left as monsters and terrorists.
Oh, there's a big surprise! That's an incredible... I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise!
Yeah, those left-wing devils trying to teach kids to be themselves. Anyway, back to raiding the Capitol and blaming it on Antifa. Anyways, go ahead and grab a bottled water, some nasty-ass chips, because we're just gonna jump into this right now.
Now, the thing about these shows is that their primary goal was to entertain, as I remember. And that's different from the situation that we have today, where kids shows seem to consider entertainment sort of a secondary concern. The primary goal now is to ensure that the children in the audience adopt the correct political and ideological viewpoint. And by correct, I mean those views that are in keeping with the mainstream beliefs of our culture, and by that I mean incorrect. So by correct, I mean incorrect.
Okay, so off to a fantastic start with Matt indirectly stating that loving gay people and black people are incorrect. What the fuck? You're literally taking him out of context. Oh, am I?
And by correct, I mean those views that are in keeping with the mainstream beliefs of our culture, and by that I mean incorrect. So by correct, I mean incorrect.
Actually, let me go ahead and give you even more context by showing you just how often Maddie likes to ridicule the LGBTQ. Go ahead and add that to Matt saying incorrect mainstream beliefs. Oh, and don't worry, we'll get into Maddie's racial insensitivity real soon.
We'll begin with the latest example, and maybe the worst. This one is fresh out of the indoctrination oven. It's the show Muppet Babies, in which Gonzo comes out as a gender-fluid cross-dresser. Yes, really.
There's that beautiful word that the right loves to use so much. Yes, showing your kids two men holding hands in the background of a show is now a form of indoctrination.
Well, that's good.
Also, this thing that Matt said about Gonzo being a gender-fluid cross-dresser, when I show you this clip of Muppet Babies, just keep that in mind, okay?
Here you are. You missed our royal ball.
We met the most amazing princess, but they ran away, and all they left behind was this.
Everyone, there's something I need to tell you. The princess who came to your ball tonight was me. I'm Gonzorella.
The look of fear in Matt's eyes right here. Could you imagine being this scared while watching Muppet Babies?
But Gonzo, why didn't Vu tell us?
Because you all expected me to look a certain way. I don't want you to be upset with me, but I don't want to do things just because that's the way they've always been done either. I want to be me.
Oh, Gonzo, we're sorry. It wasn't very nice of us to tell you what to wear to our ball.
You're our friend, and we love you any way you are.
Yeah, of course we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so that clip, that was fucking cute, right? If I don't see an army of Gonzorella fans in the comments, I'm gonna punch a hole through my wall. Anyways, did you guys hear Gonzo come out as gender fluid at any point during that 60-second clip? Go ahead, rewatch it. It's really cute. You should just rewatch it anyways, but go ahead and look for those words. Yeah, that's right, you bunch of diaper babies. Matt totally made that shit up to just sound like something crazy is happening. Shocker that the things coming from Matt's mouth are blown wildly out of proportion to make a big deal out of literally nothing. Like this fucking death cult thing he has going over here, like, oh.
See, this is why it's so important to have a father in the home. It's clear that Gonzo doesn't have a father in the home to say, hey, take that thing off. You look stupid. Get that thing off of you.
Matt, I'm not saying that you're a shitty parent, but I am saying that I really hope your kids run into someone who's okay with letting them be who they want to be. By the way, shave that beard off. Shave that fucking beard off. Get new glasses. You look fucking stupid. Yeah, that doesn't feel very good, does it, Matt? Imagine that coming from your dad.
I'll damn you good, you filthy bug! Why won't you love me, Dad? I'll be anything you want me to be. I want you to be dead!
You know, some people will point out that kid shows in the past have had episodes where boys dress as girls, and that's true. But in the past, whether it was a kid show or something for older kids or you know, older audiences, something like Mrs. Doubtfire, movie from the 90s, Robin Williams, in the past, this plot point was always played for laughs, right? It was supposed to be funny. The point was that boys look stupid in girls' clothes, and we should laugh about it.
What a genius observation, Matt. You know, white people used to paint their face black and play black characters, but you know, it was done for laughs, you know. It wasn't offensive, it was done for laughs. That scene from A Christmas Story in the Chinese restaurant, it was done for laughs, you know, just fucking joking around. Yes, Matt, men dressing up as women used to be done for jokes in film. Absolutely right, okay? But now those jokes are incredibly distasteful. Just because something was socially acceptable decades ago doesn't mean we have to regress back to that time period.
But now it's the goal is quite the opposite of that, which is, among other things, extremely creepy.
Yeah, remember that scene from the Muppet Babies where Gonzorella said he wants to be himself? Then all his friends were really kind and accepting of that? Gross, right? It should have been written into a scene in like Goosebumps or something because of how fucking extremely creepy it was. Ugh. Okay, so next Matt is gonna show a newer episode of Arthur where two characters talk about how confusing and strange racism is. Buckle up, because according to Matt Walsh, this shit is too explicit for children's eyes. Also, just gonna say now, it's a kind of long clip, so I'm gonna trim it down a little bit. So if you want to see the full thing, the link is in the description as always. Wow, I sound like such a YouTuber when I say that. Anyway, you know where to find it.
Next, we have the show Arthur, one that I remember from my childhood as well, the show about a lovable aardvark. He used to be lovable. Anyway, he's lost a bit of his charm now that he's pushing critical race theory.
Hey, Arthur. Hey, Buster. Did you see that video?
Yeah, I just watched it. It was awful. I can't believe someone would be hurt like that just because they're black.
Racism is so unfair. No one should ever judge someone by the color of their skin.
But how could it happen here, in Elwood City, right outside the Sugar Bowl?
Buster, it happens everywhere. I was talking to Mrs. McGrady the other day. She said there's a really long history of black people not being treated fairly in this country.
It has to stop.
We have to do something.
Yeah!
Critical race theory is another one of those buzzwords that have just lost all meaning because of how much the right likes to throw it around. Kind of like, you know, indoctrinating, that word. Buster says, I can't believe someone would be hurt like that just because they're black. Critical race theory is something that's often taught in universities, you know, not your average public schools like Fox News wants you to think. So tell me, does what Buster says sound like something you'd hear a college professor say in a class that costs, you know, thousands of dollars to attend? Of course you don't know. You didn't go to college. That's why we're here, dude. But the answer is no. This is something so simple that it makes sense that it's being taught to children, not college students, you know. I wrote this before the Buffalo shooting. So now after that happening as well, I think that gives us even more of a reason to put shit like this in the kids' cartoons because it's becoming such a huge deal that we kind of need to do this. But Matt Walsh thinks that it's somehow indoctrinating children and like a form of critical race theory. I think it's just teaching kids to be nice.
It is scary, Buster. But you should know that a lot of grown-ups are fighting racism and working hard to keep us all safe.
Why does this keep happening, Mrs. McGrady?
Well, racism is like a disease. If you don't treat it, it's just going to get worse.
Okay, let me jump in there, Mrs. Grady, if I could. Mrs. McGrady, whatever your name is. Why does it keep happening? Well, for the same reason that unicorns keep shitting on your roof. That is, it's not happening, like, at all. There have been comparatively few unjustified police shootings of anyone. Statistically, this is undeniable from a statistical standpoint. And almost none of them have any connection to racism.
Is Matt Walsh smoking crack? What the fuck? Okay, and now the guy with an audience of hundreds of thousands of people is just outright lying. Shocker, right? He threw in the word statistically to sound even more educated when saying the absolute dumbest shit I've ever heard. George Floyd was murdered and his story was everywhere for months. Months before that, Breonna Taylor was sleeping, but that didn't stop police officers from kicking down her door and gunning her down. So to sit there and say, yeah, this stuff isn't happening, a full year after these two tragedies occurred back to back is just evil. This shit is happening, and I think Matt is just going out of his way to pretend it's not happening because it's not happening to him.
So this is not a thing that's actually happening. And yet the people behind Arthur want small children to imagine they live in a country where black people are being killed left and right for the color of their skin, just like walking on the street. They just get murdered by the cops.
This was the scene captured on cell phone video Monday. 47-year-old Charles Kenzie, unarmed, laying on his back, hands raised in the air.
As long as I got my hands up, they're not going to shoot me. This is what I'm thinking. they're not going to shoot me. Wow, was I wrong?
A former police officer in the US state of Georgia has been charged with the murder of an unarmed black man. Rayshard Brooks was shot twice in the back as he fled from two white officers in a car park in Atlanta.
That is, it's not happening. Like, at all.
But that's literally what's happening, Matthew. Just because it's not happening to you, and just because you don't care that it's happening to other people, does not mean it's not happening at all, Matt. That's not how this works. Next, Matt is going to react to one of those lovely shorts Cartoon Network put out featuring the characters of Steven Universe. I've seen these ones before, and they're really cute, and I think they're exactly what kids need to see, but I'm sure Matt feels the exact opposite.
Not sure what's going on there exactly, but let's keep going. We'll stay on the racial side of things with this from a show that I don't even know what the show is, but it's called Steven Universe. Here it is.
All right, class. Can anyone tell me who invented the light bulb?
Thomas Edison!
That's not entirely true. The light bulb could more rightfully be attributed to Lewis Latimer, the black inventor behind the filament inside the bulb.
His invention made light bulbs affordable and efficient enough for the general public, bringing electric light into households around the world.
Well, so now you know. Wait, is that it? Hold on. We're not going to mention why he invented the filament? To create a better standard of living for people who had only just been freed from slavery? Are we going to ask why kids are apparently learning about Thomas Edison?
Thomas Edison!
Ugh, and not learning about Lewis Latimer? These textbooks are incomplete. There were black Roman warriors, black medieval knights, black classical musicians, black cowboys, black fighter pilots. Where are they?
Got it, and she's so fucking right. I remember being in school and wondering where the fuck all the black people were. like when black people were brought up during school, it was like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., and maybe Malcolm X. That's kind of it. Now, am I losing my fucking mind, or did black people exist before the 1900s? Is that just my dumb foreigner brain? I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to get into a historical debate with a cartoon, but at the same time, no, you could not attribute the light bulb to Lewis Latimer if you actually care about things like the truth and historical accuracy. You know, those little details like that.
Oh, the guy who thinks racial crimes don't exist suddenly cares about the truth and historical accuracy when it could be leading to discrediting a white person. That makes a lot of fucking sense. It's funny how that works, right? See, Matthew, you don't want to argue with a cartoon here like you're saying, because the cartoon actually understands history a lot better than you do. So you'd lose that fucking argument in a second.
All right, I could invent a more durable tire or a more reliable braking system. Well, I couldn't do that, but somebody could. That doesn't mean that I get to claim that I invented the car, though. And I can't invent the car because it's already been invented. So there's that little detail.
Right. And hilariously, that's not even close to what we're talking about here. Okay, so from what I could read, Lewis Latimer made the light bulb possible with his own invention. But this fact has been lost to time because history books didn't see the point in teaching kids that black people are capable of doing things white people can. Did anyone on his writing staff stop and think, hey, Matt, this part doesn't really make any sense at all, actually?
Rather than trying to steal this invention from Thomas Edison, when he's not even around to defend himself, how about saying, hey, thanks, Thomas Edison. You're at least one good white guy that's been out there. There are many others, it turns out.
Oh no, what a heinous crime, stealing something from a white guy that he could never get back. It's not like white people have ever stolen anything from anyone and claimed it as their own before. Okay, well, it's not like white people have ever stolen anything else from another group of people. Okay. Well, at least white people didn't take anything else, right? Oh shit, we live in a house of lies. Okay, so Matt reacted to the same Blue's Clues parade thing that Ben Shapiro reacted to, but since we already saw Ben's reaction, I figured we could go ahead and just skip it. But if it makes you feel any better, it's exactly what you'd think it would be.
And now we have pansexual toads and bisexual turtles singing about their favorite sexual orientation.
What a story, Mark.
To finish up the video, Matt's gonna react to a scene from My Little Pony featuring a lesbian couple, which I'm sure Matt's into lesbians because two girls kissing is just so fucking hot. That's not even gay, that's just fucking awesome, dude. It makes me want to shoot my rifles into the air for fun, shit.
Lesbian horses on My Little Pony. Let's watch this.
You three truly have a gift for helping ponies.
Aw, thanks, Aunt Holiday.
Oh, was that it? Okay. I was waiting because, well, first of all, I didn't mean to misgender the horses. That's actually not a horse. That's a unicorn, it would seem. That was the tamest thing we saw. I was like waiting for, that was downright quaint and conservative in comparison to what you normally get from kid shows these days. I mean, it's only a lesbian couple on My Little Pony. The lesbian unicorns, they're not even into like BDSM or anything. There's no subplot where one of them gets a sex change. This is old-fashioned.
It's fucking wild how the only time a conservative is okay with the existence of a gay person is when they're quiet and just out of the way. It's exactly the kind of thing corporations do when they turn their social media profile pictures into like a rainbow, and then the rest of the year they don't want anything to do with the LGBTQ. If someone says they're okay with gay people but only when they're not vocal about it, it's really just them telling you they don't like gay people. Like what if I said I like Chinese characters in media, but only when they have little to no speaking roles? You might be sitting there saying that race and gender are two different things, but they're still things that define someone, you know? What's also hilarious about this is that this scene could easily be swept away by saying they have two aunts because their mother has two sisters, not because they're married and lesbian. See, Matt didn't like those other videos because you can't deny what's being talked about in them. Matt can't show it to his kids, otherwise they'll end up respecting black people and feel comfortable with the color pink. And that's the last thing he must want, right? To sort of end the video, Matt tells his audience to turn off their kids' TVs, make them go outside and live a normal life, which is almost exactly what Ben Shapiro said at the end of his video talking about the same subject. So, which one of you wants to break to these two eggheads that gay people exist outside of TV?
I'm gonna tell him.
Don't you dare.
Okay, and here we are at the end of another video. That was a lot of fun to go through. I'm very lucky to have my dog because halfway through watching the video, before I even wrote the script, I just walked over and gave him a big old hug. And suddenly I was totally fine. If you know any other channels featuring angry right-wing males, go ahead and send them my way because I just eat this shit up apparently. I know Jordan Peterson made an oopsie on Twitter this week, so we could talk about him, but I don't really know enough about him to make a full video, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean the world to me, and I'll see you soon. Peace.